Hey guys, Banana Luck here. Welcome back to another Watcher of Realms video. Today we're going to talk about this weekend's banner that's coming up. We don't have leaks anymore, so this is probably one of the first banners that we knew that was sort of coming, but we didn't know when. And now we have everything that's official. We have the 2x banner. We have the Yuri banner here with Artemis, and I think it's rumored that maybe the new Nightmare Lord will come this weekend as well. I did use all my ancients like not so long ago, before I recorded this video, and we snagged an Eunomia. Well, we're very far from pity, so I'm not hoping for anything there, but yeah, we're here to talk about this banner today. So Yuri and Artemis. Artemis is not new to us. Yuri is. She's a Nightmare Piercer unit, and very obviously, she was made for the clientele that were also behind the minds of Last, as well as, many of the other heroes that came after. So it's a really cool model though. I really like the... So these are like Chinese talisman thingies floating in the back. I'm Chinese, so this makes sense to me, kinda. And this is also like the nine-tailed fox demon thingy going on there. Uh, Interesting character in terms of artwork, but let's take a look at her kit. So first of all, 11k HP, 3.7k attack, slightly lower than usual. And then we also have a 2-second attack interval, which is pretty low. And other than that, 12 cost, same as Hatsutt. So she's probably the contender for Hatsutt if you ask me, because she also has defense reduction in her kit, which we'll get to a moment here. So talent, every 5 basic attack will trigger a Chaos Orb that deals 160% damage to the target and 4 surrounding enemies one time. So this means that every 5 attacks she's gonna do a AoE, not AoE damage, it's gonna just be a normal hit, and it's gonna also affect 4 targets around it. Then deal 50% damage 6 times to random targets in that range, and deals 20% increased damage to airborne units. So pretty interesting. I wonder if this 50% damage 6 times will mean that if there's only one unit there, she just straight up deals extra 300% damage every 5 attacks. I'm gonna go on a limb to say that it does, which is probably why people say that she could be contending for Hatsutt or Silas's slot there. And then over here, okay, that makes it more interesting. Deals 50% damage 2 times to random enemies in range, prioritizing air units. And that would mean that every 3 attacks, she's gonna trigger this, which is pretty crazy uptime. First passive, Talent and Ultimate deals defense reduction on a target hit for 3 seconds. This goes up to 5 seconds, and the defense reduction goes up to 25%. Almost on par with Torador at 30%. I think slightly lower than Hatsutt there. Second passive, each time the talent is triggered, increases attack by 8%. At max level, that goes up to 10, stacking up to 4 times at max level, and when reaching max stack, it resets after 20 seconds. So that sounds like a 40% damage increase, 40% attack increase, sorry, at max level. And it does reset afterwards, which is fair. It is quite a high attack boost, but I think given the number of attacks that she needs to trigger her talent, she's gonna wreck this up pretty quickly. And then her bond skill, this is with Kigiri. Don't bother looking at Kigiri's bond. It's terrible, like Hexes. But I think that makes sense because Kigiri is really a pretty broken unit. So obtain Hero, Kigiri, Undying Ronin to unlock the following bonus effect. Chaos Orb triggered by the talent deals 100% increased damage to the main target. So that's 260% damage. And after dealing damage, restores 10% HP to 2 friendly units within 3 tiles of the Chaos Orb. This hero doesn't affect the hero's HP. So it doesn't affect her own, that's what I'm assuming. So have to bear in mind, it only hits 2 friendly units within 3 tiles of the Chaos Orb, which means that your units need to be near the enemy. So if you ask me, it sounds like it's going to be pretty neat for a Torador team, for example, because those heals will definitely come in handy, especially when you're dealing with a Cornelian team in GVG. Other than that though, I think in just normal campaign and all that, you won't really find usefulness in this. I think the heal is a bit minor. But I think what people are looking for here is really just the increased damage. But anyways, most people will already have Kigiri unless you're a newer player. And then onto her ultimate, deals 5 hits of 55% damage per second to one enemy in range. This goes up to 75 damage, 75%. When a target dies during the skill, gains 5% rage and targets one other enemy near the fallen target. Effect duration goes up to 10 seconds, and you can see it going on here. Just wait for it to refresh. So that hits this guy. And I'm thinking that he dies halfway so that he can show the buff bouncing off to the other unit. Yep, there we go. So in theory, this sounds like it's going to be a skill that has a potential to bounce plenty of times. Or does it not? No. Gains 5% rage and targets one other unit near the fallen target. Okay, we have no idea. But my guess is that given the effect duration, it might work, because it's 5 hits of 55% damage per second to one enemy in range. So ideally, I think she could be useful in, say, Gear Rate 3 when dealing with the boss, and also with the left side of Gear Rate 3, but no idea until someone tests that. Because of the range is a bit... okay, it extends to this. Okay, then that's fine. I think it will work in Gear Rate 3 on the left side as well. But interesting mechanic, because it kind of relies on Yuri having to kill the first unit before it bounces to the other for you to maximize the damage. So yeah, that's something to take note of. And then on to Awakenings. When dealing damage, there's a 10% chance for inflicting stun on the target. Now this gets interesting, because remember her ultimate? That's that one orb that flies up that deals 5 hits per second, and it can stay on that first unit for as long as it wants until it kills it. And you also have this on her talent where, you will deal damage 6 times to random targets in range, and that will mean that, if there's no targets in range, the only unit that's standing there is going to get hit 6 times. And bear in mind, 2 attacks per hit, so that's going to rack up pretty quickly. So there is potential here for Yuri to actually be, used in Samra 2, for example, to, to be the one deploying the stuns alongside with a Nightmare team. I'm not too sure for that. We'll need to actually get her to find out. And I don't think I'm going to get her A1 anyways, because I don't have enough summoning resources, but that's what it is. A2, flat attack, always great on a unit like this with a low base. And then A3, damage increases as the number of targets in basic attack range decreases. Damage increase ranges from 8 to 40%, which means that she is ideally, supposed to be a unit that wants as little targets as around her as possible. But there is still some minor damage increase if, let's say, even there's multiple units. A4 penetration, always nice on a unit like this. And A5 reduces AoE damage taken by 50%. This effect can be triggered up to 1 time every 20 seconds. Very funky one, to be honest. The only place that I could see this potentially being useful is, I don't know, a placement where you have Yuri that possibly could get hit by a mage in GVG, the ball guys, but with 10k base HP, I think she's gonna die no matter what. So very wacky A5. I don't really see it, working out, because she's a DPS unit. I don't know why you need this AoE damage reduction thing going on. But that's what they decided with. I would think that A3 is good enough. A1 is also especially nice if you're thinking from the Samra perspective. A3 is really if, even at her base kit, she can really do decent amount of damage, then, Yuri might be decent there. So we'll definitely need people to test her out. But for now, I think, it's still on the fence whether she's good. But it's good to probably just pull a copy of her just in case, she winds up to be a really good unit. But I'm banking on the fact that we'll probably see a lot more test server videos coming out soon. So yeah, Other than that, you have Artemis on the banner, anti-healer for gear rate 1. There's really nothing much to talk about him here. He's probably one of the cooler anti-healing units because he's a healer by default, but he does damage on his ultimate, where he can actually target the enemies, and that's when the anti-healing comes out. But other than that, he's just, doing healing when he's not on his ultimate. And his A1 is nice because it increases his crit rate by 50%, which makes him a much easier unit to build all around. But yeah, I'll think that if you're pulling for this banner, it's probably for Yuri. Artemis, not so much, which is probably also the reason why I don't really feel like pulling for this banner, because there's a chance to get Artemis. And I'll pretty much want to save for other banners that are upcoming, especially for 2x, 15x, because we haven't had that for a long time. So that's gonna be for the video. Let me know down in the comment section below if you're gonna pull for Yuri, because she's definitely there for the aesthetic values, but yeah, not sure whether she'll be actually good in terms of single target damage. That's on the fence. And I also really like this A1. I think it could be really nice, especially in GVG. So yeah, that's gonna be it for the video. If you enjoyed the content, leave a like or subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.